Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We have been working on this Williams Space Station pinball machine. If you hear it, it's clicking back and forth. We had a customer bring us the game and tell us that he was having issues with the sound and the batteries had died. So we did a video where we fixed the sound and the batteries that had died, but then we found a whole bunch of other problems, so we figured we'd do a completely different video with that. So if you didn't see the other video, go check it out. What are you waiting on? You're going to miss all of the good stuff that was in the other video. So the first thing that we figured out was the poppers, the ball poppers are not working. Now you see how this one has a paper towel shoved in it? I put that in it because I was trying to play the game without losing the ball down there. You'll see here in a minute. But do you hear the clicking? There's a relay clicking on and off. I believe it's because there's a ball stuck here and it's trying to pop it out, but it can't. So that clicking, I think, is the relay in the back switching between the A and the C. You'll see it here in a minute. Also, the drop targets didn't work and the kickers don't work. Other than that, it was playing pretty good, but we didn't want to send it back to the customer like this because you'd have to block off both of the poppers up there and it would ruin the game, basically. Useless. Also, the lane kick-out doesn't work. The kickback doesn't work. So we've got to fix all that stuff. So I had to order some parts for the popper up there that was missing. I think we'll put those in first, and then we'll go from there. There's something going on with the board or a fuse or something, though, because we've got several coils that aren't doing anything. So let me take the glass off. We'll lift the playfield up, and I'll show you what we need to replace. Here is the inside of the cabinet. At the back of the playfield there are these two ball poppers. Okay, so basically they are the ball lands on them and then it touches a switch and then it ejects the ball back out. It pops it out of the little hole that it's landed in. So the first thing that I noticed was that this one is missing some of its equipment. Now if you look, see that roll pin laying down there on the bottom? That would have held it all together, but the little cup that is supposed to be on there is missing. So we've ordered that and the roll pin and a couple other things. The switch. I don't know what would have happened to them though, but this game never would have worked without that. The ball would just stick up there, and then once the game loses one of the balls, it won't start a new game. So the customer was saying that it was that it forgot the settings because the batteries died, and that the sound was messed up, but it never would have played with the ball landing in that hole. It would have just stayed there. And somebody must have knew about it because the part's missing. The little plastic piece isn't in there anymore. But don't worry, never fret, we're going to fix it. It's no big deal. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop that loose. We'll take that bracket loose, and then I'll show you the parts that we ordered, and we'll pop them on there real quick, pun intended, and hopefully that'll get that fixed. So I took the bracket loose, and solder's a little crappy on that too. I might touch that up, but you can see how this works. Basically, the ball lands in a little cup, which makes a switch activate, and then this plunger pulls in to eject the ball. You get that little hole there. This little cup sits on top of it. There's a hole in it. And then this little pin holds it together. So the little pin had either fallen out or someone had taken it out. And that's our problem. So I got to put that back together. But it also, the switch is broke. Whoop. The end of the switch is broken off. On this one, you can see how it has the little round piece that it lands on. Okay. Luckily, we were able to get that too. So you may say, where in the world do you get stuff like that? Well, there's a few places, but one of the best is Marco Specialties. I'm going to do a commercial for them. They don't give me anything free or even a discount, but they do the best job. They have more stuff than pretty much anybody. My favorite two pinball places, and I'm not saying anything bad about any of the other pinball places. I'm just saying my favorite two. Marco Specialties, because they're only about an hour from here. So they always do me right. If I order something, I have it in a day or two. Right? They ship that stuff out. And they've got about the biggest selection in the world. So I'm fortunate, about an hour from me, we have the pinball place that has like the biggest selection in the world. And I don't think that anybody would even argue that. I think it's just the truth. And then there's another place called the Pinball Resource that I like because it's kind of old school. And so for electromechanical pinball machines in particular, they carry more stuff than even Marco. But they also have some solid state stuff. But both of those places I really like. Okay, so I ordered the parts, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get that cup back on there. And I'm going to look at the other one to see if it's even close to right, or if I need to order any other parts, or what the deal is. And then I'll see if I can swap that switch out too. So that's step one, trying to fix the popper, the pieces missing off of the popper. Got it mounted back on there. That little pin just fits in there, but it's a pretty tight fit, so it just went right in. There's nothing holding it in but the fit, the press, basically. Okay, and that you see that there's play in this saucer, or this, whatever that you want to call this. What do they call it? They call it a cap with neck. This cap with neck, it has a little play in it because basically there's a switch that goes across it. So what happens is this sits on the switch, but it has to be able to move, right? So it sits on the switch, but it's not very heavy. So just the switch holds it up. But then the ball lands in it and pushes it down, which closes the switch, tells the game that something's on it, and then it, bam, kicks it all the way out. So that piece was missing. So we're going to put it back and replace the switch that's broken. And then we got to figure out why half the solenoids aren't working. Alright folks, so I got it all back in there. New switch, new cup, cap. So here's the problem. Whenever we tried playing it, a bunch of the stuff wouldn't work. So here's what wouldn't work. That popper wouldn't work. That popper wouldn't work. These drop target resets wouldn't work. All three pop bumpers did work. No problems. This one over here I didn't test, so I don't know about that one. This is a drop target, a single drop target. It worked. The two kickers did not work. Okay. But the ball eject did work. And the two flippers worked. So how are we going to figure this out? Well, oh, and also the kickback didn't work, which is actually these wires here running up to the top. Okay. By the way, some of this is dirty and stuff. We're not doing a full shop out on this. We're just repairing it for a guy. So we're just trying to get it running reasonably well, and he's not too concerned about it being perfect. You know, so we're not going to take everything apart like we do a lot of times. But how are we going to figure out what the problem is? Well, whenever you have this many things messed up, it's easier to figure out what's going on because you've got a lot of evidence. Okay, so for instance, here's what I look at. The three pop bumpers all work, and they all have a red and white wire providing power to them. Okay. Now, as I look around, nothing else has that color wire. None of the other coils. And they all work. So what do we know? The red and white wires work. Okay, then we have this one over here that I didn't check. It has an orange wire providing power to it. Okay. The two kickers don't work. They have a purple and yellow wire running to them. this one worked, the ball eject. Okay, it has a brown wire running to it. Now all of these have a second wire, of course. That's the ground wire. There's a different one for each solenoid. Okay, but since we have so many of them acting up, it's probably not all of those transistors are burnt out. Knock on plywood. Could be, but probably not. Okay, the kick out coil over here, I can't remember what that's called. It has a purple and yellow, which is the same color that are on the two kickers that don't work. So we now have 3 of them with a purple and yellow that don't work, right? The flippers have a blue and they work. This one has a brown and it works. No purple and yellow. Okay, the drop target, the one drop target worked. It's got a brown. Same thing this has. So both of the ones with brown work. All 3 of the ones with red and white work. Okay, we don't know about this one. Our drop target reset has a yellow and purple. It doesn't work. Our left popper has a yellow and purple, just like the drop target reset, and it doesn't work. And our right popper has a yellow and purple. It doesn't work, and it was missing parts. So what do we have? We have 3 yellow and purples that don't work. We have no yellow and purples that do work. We have 3 red and whites, all 3 of them work. We have 3 purple and yellows, none of them work. We have 2 browns, they both work. So we don't know about the orange yet. We also had the motor. It did work, but I don't know. It's probably done different. Looks like it's white and blue. Okay, so it looks to me like our problem really is the yellow and purple wires and the purple and yellow wires are giving us problems. None of those coils work. So it could be as simple as a fuse or something. So next stop, back box. Now, sometimes if you've just got 1 or 2, sometimes it's because that wire is broke, because you can see it daisy chains. So here's the end of the wire. It's only 1. It daisy chains over to here to where there's 1 going in, and then it goes back out, and daisy chains up to here, goes in, comes back out, and then goes back to the back down through the wire harness, up into the neck and into the back box. So sometimes if you have a problem, it's because that wire's broke somewhere. Okay, and you can see on the yellow and purple, we have the same problem. A single wire, daisy chains over to here, goes in, and then comes right back out. Daisy chains to here, goes in, comes right back out. We may get lucky, and I just forgot to plug something in. That would be the best case scenario. But I won't even feel bad because we needed the parts for the popper. But let's put the playfield down and look in the back box. Okay, you guys got to remember for me. Purple and yellow wire and yellow and purple wire. We ought to be able to remember that. You can say violet if you want. So we can look in the schematics, but this one, you know, it looks like there's a whole ton of stuff going on. But they look so much more complex than they really are. They are complex, but when I look at this, I don't see wires all over the place. Sometimes I even forget that there's so many. I see it as there's systems on top of systems. So let me show you what I mean. So this is the soundboard, right? And so this ribbon cable's hanging out, but all that is the soundboard connecting to the main board. You can just ignore that. This plug is the speakers going out. Useless, right? This little connector board here is to connect. It's like an interface between the system, the game, and the back box insert board. I don't even know why they did that, but they did. Okay, all of that's useless because all of that is stuff on the back box, right? So all of that you can just ignore, right? And we're dealing with solenoids. So all of the ground wires we were looking at, the ones that I was saying each one had its own individual one. Well, that's all these over here. It may actually run through here too now that I think about it. But we were looking at a power wire. That's none of these. These are all grounds. These are switches. These are lights. None of that. We don't care anything about the lights right now. Now we may find after we fix these solenoids, the lights, we have to fix something on that. But right now we don't care anything about that. Okay. More grounds. These are the special solenoids. But we're not looking at grounds, we're looking at power. That's what we want to look at. This is display stuff, and this big ribbon cable is display stuff. So all of this stuff, we don't care anything about. The soundboard, we don't care about the sound. We don't care about any of these wires. Okay? So this is the power supply. But on these more modern games, the power for the solenoids, I don't believe comes right off of the power supply. I think it comes off this power board here. See all these diodes and fuses and bridge rectifiers and the relay and all that? So our connection is going to be over here, and it's a thicker wire. Now, what was the color? What color are we looking for? I can hear you out there. Purple and yellow and purple. So if you look, here's two yellow and purple wires, and they're right beside each other in that connector. Why is that? It's probably because there is a trace going to 2 or 3 pins there, and there's room for more of them. And then if you look, there's a purple and yellow one right beside it, right near it. So the purple and yellow one comes out, and you can see here that it loops up and then goes down. It's going down to the board, okay? The yellow and purple one, same thing. It comes out, goes down, it's going down to the playfield. And then there's another yellow and purple one here that runs up. So what's the point of that? Well, if you follow it, right? It's running to the knocker, yet another solenoid. So it's the power for the knocker, the 2 pop bumpers, and the drop target reset. I mean the poppers and the drop target reset. The pop bumpers were red and white. One over here was orange. This one was brown. This one was brown. These were blue. And these were purple and yellow. Was there another purple and yellow one? There was there? Oh yeah, this one. The little kicker over there was purple and yellow. Okay, so we've got some kind of problem right here, and it very well could just be fuses. So I'm going to go get the multimeter, and we'll check the fuses. So I got my old Fluke multimeter. I don't use the diode checker, the beep. I use the ohms. Let's see what kind of resistance a fuse has. So this fuse, 0.1, and my meter has about that much resistance in the leads. So that fuse was fine. That fuse is fine. You're trying to see if this is shorted to that. That's how you check a fuse. There's a little thing in there. You just basically want to make sure that there is little resistance between here and here. Can power pass through there with very little resistance? And by the way, it doesn't matter what they look like. 0.3, that's good. So you notice I just got 3 different readings. It was 0.1, 0.4, I think, and 0.3. Anything less than like an ohm is fine. Run with it. If you do enough of them, you start seeing it. So if I saw one that was like 0.8 ohms, I would probably think, that fuse is dirty. We need to clean it or replace it, you know. But that doesn't mean that it's blown. So when a fuse blows, the little wire inside of it burns up. So power can no longer get from this side to this side. It's a safety thing, right? And again, it doesn't matter what it looks like, okay? But if it's got like 1 ohm resistance, it doesn't even matter. On some of the ones with low amperage, like this is a 1/4 amp fuse, if you check it, I've got 10 ohms resistance. So is that one bad? I just told you anything over 1 ohm. Well, no, in that case, it's not bad because it's a low resistance. I mean, it's a low amperage fuse. They have a lot more resistance. I don't know why it's like that. It's just how it is. So if you're down under like a 1 amp fuse, you're going to have more resistance like that just in the way that it's made. So even though that one says 10.5 amps, it's not bad. It just looks like it's bad. Yes, that's another good example. See, it looked crappy, but it's just because of the way the thing's made. Okay. And by the way, that's the fuse for the displays. None of the displays would work if that was out. Okay, so our top one here, there you go. 960K ohms. So it's saying 0.960 meg, or is that mil? Whatever. Meg, right? So it's way the hell up there. It's thousands of ohms. 960,000 ohms of resistance. That one's blown, people. So that appears to be the one that goes to the yellow and purple wires. But we're just flying by the seat of our pants here. Watch this. You're going to love this. Yeah, that's right. I just pried it out with the tip of my probe. Deal with it. Deal with it, people. You'll be all right. Cope. So let's see if it does look screwed up. Yeah, it does. You can see it in there. But I'm telling you, you can't go by the vision test, people. It will bite you in the ass if you try to just go by how it looks. See where it's burnt? Popped it loose. Boom. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do a fuse test. We're gonna do it the quick way. I wish I had a little legend here that told me what size that's supposed to be. We're gonna have to look at the schematics because you can't trust the damn thing anybody's done. This may be the wrong type size fuse, which might be the whole problem. It is a... What are you gonna guess? I'm gonna guess it's about a 5 amp. It is a 2 amp. That's probably right. Okay, F4 on the power whatever board that is. Let's go look in the schematics. So here is the pertinent part of the schematics. It says auxiliary power driver, and you've got voltage coming in, and then it calls that the 50 volt DC power supply, and then there are 3 fuses coming out of that particular part: F4, F5, and F6. F4 is our one that's blown. See, it says it's a 2 amp, and then look what it says. AC relay. Okay, so 2 sets of power. So see it? Here it comes off here, and that's our purple and yellow, as I called it, but they're calling it violet and yellow. Right? And then the same fuse allows power to go through here, and then this relay is actually running what they call an A line and a C line. So the C line on this game appears to be unused, and the A line is the yellow and violet. Now the yellow and violet is the 2 poppers, and the solenoid reset, the drop target bank reset, and the kicker. The knocker. Boy, I'm keep giving you the wrong words. Hubba hubba hubba. It is the left popper, the right popper, the 3 drop target bank reset, and the knocker. There you go. Okay, so this relay is what's clicking. Click, click. I think it's normally on C, and it's clicking over to A to try to make that happen, and that ball pop up off of that popper, but it can't because that fuse was blown. So what blew that fuse? Well, it was either one of these coils is shorted, or something shorted one of those coils, or one of the, look, they're telling us the violet and yellow is one more solenoid that we don't know about. There's something else I must have missed, or it's unused or something. So it's either that, or it's one of the transistors on the main board is shorted that runs those solenoids. So let's say solenoid 3A, I don't know for sure, but let's say that's the left popper. Okay, if that coil would burn up, it would draw so much amperage through all this crap that it would blow the fuse. Okay, if the coil itself did it. If the driver, the transistor on the main board, the ground wire off of the left popper goes back, the one that I said was different for everything, goes back to the main board and is grounded by a transistor. If that transistor is shorted, it would just immediately cause this to lock on, which would draw so much amperage through here that it would blow the fuse. It's a dead short. Okay? So it could be either one of those. Or sometimes it's just a fluke, like somebody touched something at the wrong time, remember the ball can fall into one hole because the cap wasn't there. Maybe that shorted something out, or maybe there was an errant screw laying in the bottom of the cabinet that hit something. That's right, I just created the phrase errant screw. Deal with it. Deal with it, people. You'll be all right. So it could be anything like that. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put the fuse back in it, and then we're going to turn it on and see what happens. And I'll show you the proper way to do that, because there is a proper way to do that. First of all, don't put a bigger fuse than what's supposed to be in there. So we definitely want a 2 amp fuse for it. All right, now you don't want to do this all the time or do this just for the hell of it or anything like that. But if we're trying to repair it, we're doing this as a diagnostic thing, okay? It's like turning it on with the power supply on and I'm up there touching crap, you know. I'm trying to fix it, so there's an exception. You wouldn't want to normally be up there touching a bunch of crap, right? Because there's a positive 100 and a negative 100 volts up there in that power supply. So I think that's 200 volts. That'll kick you, right? But we're going to do this as a diagnostic thing. Okay, so we've replaced the top fuse. So here's what I'm going to do. When I turn the game on, it's going to screech, because that's what System 11 games do. It's going to go just really loud. Okay, so be prepared for that. Just ignore that. We're trying to hear if we hear a coil lock on. Okay. It's also, one of the balls is stuck on that one popper, so I need to move this. Well, it's in a cage. So that ball's going to pop up into this wire form, but it can't hit this. I'm always thinking about, like, man, if it hits that glass and breaks it, but it's not going to. So we're going to turn it on. You're going to hear that ball pop up out of there. But we want to listen if one of these locks on, or if the drop target reset, which will probably reset if it locks on, is doing something weird, or if the other popper locks on, or that popper locks on. So we're just listening for, does anything come on and stay on? You got about 3 or 4 seconds, and then it'll blow the fuse again. But we don't want to do that. We're trying to save a fuse, basically. But we're just trying to see, okay, where is the problem at, or is there a problem? So here we go. It's like I said, it's going to screech, and I'm going to turn it right back off if something locks on. I think we're good. Nothing locked on, and it popped the popper out. Put all 3 balls in. Okay, so it kicked the ball out. Everything's cool. So why did it blow the fuse? Hell if I know. We might find out. Whoa, what happened? Did it blow all the lights? Nah, it's just the attract mode. So next step, I'm going to put it back together, and then we're going to go into test mode and test all of the solenoids. All right, so we're in the main mode. Let's see if I can advance through any more of the music. Oh. I hit the wrong button, I guess.
Condition great. Roger, Liberty. Mission accomplished. We have ignition. Condition.
Okay, I'm gonna go back through so we can go back to the music test. That was pretty cool. Okay. High score. That's the Yamaha sound chip. 2125, I think. YM2125. Oh, I see what they did. They added stuff. So that's the main theme. Then if you go to the lock one, it adds something in the background. Hear it? Then if you go to the other one, it adds even more. Since apparently that's when you've locked the balls. Okay, cool. If I can figure out how to get out of there. Sound test. All lamps. We're not worried about lamps right now, but it does look like they're all working. Maybe. Maybe, baby. Single lamps. Coil test. Here we go. Okay, looks like everything's working except maybe some of the flashers, which would be because they're burnt out. I would probably have to go in and individually check those. Yeah, maybe that's next. Let's see if we can... all lamps won't do it. It's got to be in coil. Oh, okay, left flasher. They're working. Right flasher. They're working. Top flasher. They're working. Panel flasher. So that's the two red ones back there. I don't know if that should be all 5 of them or not. Three bank drop target is resetting. The flame flasher. They're calling it that because it's the flames on the back glass. Knocker. The station flasher. As those. Working as intended. The right drop target. The left dock. The playfield general illumination relay so they can dim everything and make it look scary. The insert GI. The AC select, A or C. Very clever. The left re-entry. We didn't have that one working before. The panel lights. Okay, yeah, look, see, that's just the one on the left. The one in the middle and the one on the right, the amber ones, may not work. The actual motor for the space station. The right dock. about blocked on. Right sling, left jet, bottom jet, out hole. The relaunch flasher. The left flasher. Okay, we're back where we were. I don't. The only ones that I didn't test were all these up here. So some of these might be out, but I think we're probably good. Okay, so we got two flashers. The one there in the middle and the one on the right were the only ones that I saw that weren't lighting up. But there might be others that I just didn't. Don't even know are there. Okay, so I think we're about ready to test play it and see what else is messed up. Okay, folks, we're going to test play it a little bit and see if anything doesn't work, gets stuck, or anything like that. The guy really just wanted us to get it running again, but I think we got all the coils working. There might be some, I don't see any light bulbs out or anything, but, oh, the flashers. Two of the flashers in the back, those two that weren't working, I couldn't replace because they take a special 1251 bulb. You saw how the that relay was making the flashers turn on. So some of those flashers take a different type of bulb because it's running on coil voltage, so it's a higher voltage than most of the flashers. So let's play it a little bit. I got the sound turned up.
We have ignition.
Kickers work. The re-entry kickback works. Oh, I lost it. I was playing with my food. I need to replace the shooter tip too. It's all messed up. Bay doors are open. I don't know if those switches work. I missed it. Okay, the top right popper works. See the green arrows? It's telling me to lock the ball. Okay. Not enough. There we go. Alright, top popper works fine. Okay, the switch worked fine that I was wondering about. I'm playing with my food again. I thought the S wasn't working, but match. Nope. All right, let's try it again.
We have ignition.
Yes, we do. Top right kicker, the knocker, popper. Got it, just in time.
Liberty docked.
We docked it on the right. See the top left one, it's still open. And there's another one, I can go up the ramp again too. See the green light? Missed it. Missed it. Missed it. Missed it. Oh! Come on now. Ball two. All right. Oh. Will it figure it out? Will it lower the pop to get the ball out of there? See if it's got a ball search and if it uses the the drop target. It jiggled it a little bit, and that was enough to get the ball loose.
Three doors are open.
Damn, that right out lane is vicious. Missed. There is a piece of plastic on the playfield, which I think is part of that pop thing that we're missing. Missed it. Bonus ball, 25 seconds. Pilot 1. I only get it for 25 seconds? Yeah. The old Black Knight thing. Oh. And I lost it the way I typically do. Oh, it did it again.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Very cool. Did you see that? So it truly timed it. Whenever the time ran out, the flippers died. The whole playfield died. Okay, let's try it again.
We have ignition.
Oh. Okay, the S that I was thinking about, the little stand-up, is not lit, so that must be working all right. Ooh. Man, I gotta stop doing that with that right flipper. I keep trying to catch the ball and it bounces off of it, rolls up and goes out that out lane. Don't catch the ball with the right flipper. Come on now. Ooh. I outsmarted them that time. Oh, too fast. I didn't see it. All right, one more game.
We have ignition.
I want to get the cool space station thing to work. All right, that was the left popper just worked. Oh man, I did it again, but with the left flipper that time. You got to watch how you pass the ball or try to catch it and all that. I'm not very good at that anyway, but I do usually try to slow the ball down with the flipper like that. And on this game, it will bite you. See, like I just did it again, not thinking about it. Did it again. Everything seems to be working pretty good. I'm trying to resist the urge to assist the ball by touching it with the flip like that. See, I didn't even touch it that time, but they want you to swing in this game and not play with the ball to like shoot it. Ran it right by me. All right, we can go one more.
We have ignition.
So we'd like to thank everybody for watching. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Did you ever play this game?
Door back on court. Roger, Liberty.
Ooh, doing it again. See if it catches it again. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. It fell out on its own that time. Missed it. Okay, got it.
Open.
Oh, man. Not bad for ball one. I didn't lock anything though yet. I'd like to thank everybody that's been using our Amazon links. If you don't know about that, there's a link down below. I did it again. Man, I gotta stop that. There's a link down below to Amazon. If you're gonna buy anything on Amazon, if you click our link before to go to Amazon, it gives us a tip. So thank you to everybody that's been doing that. Y'all rock. About did it again. All right. I didn't lock that one. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we locked one. We locked the left one. Oh, look, see the space station turns and it kicked it into the space station and then which turned to lock it in the right. So the first time it went through and the space station turned and threw it down here. And then the second time I made the same exact shot and the space station turned, and whenever it kicked it that time it locked it over here. So we get multi-ball if I lock one more.
Looking good.
Nope, not quite enough. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Negative, you must redock.
Well,
Redock now.
I lost one immediately, two immediately.
Redock.
Come on. You saw that, right? It had like a special green mode. This is way before color changing LEDs, people. This is before LEDs, period. They have little bulbs down in here with a green little condom on it. And they light up everything green. And it's like a green mode whenever you're trying to make the ball back into the space station. Fantastic! It's pretty freaking cool. We have another video that we did of this game a while back. If you go to our channel and just click our name, go to our channel. Over on the right, there's like a little magnifying glass. If you click that and type Space Station, it'll bring up every video we've done about Space Station. So if you ever want to, not that you would, but if you ever want to search through our videos, you can do it like that. And if you go look at our other Space Station video, we played it on that as well. And I think I got the multi-ball a couple times on that, I think. But in my mind, I'm always, the past is much better as I remember it. So maybe I only did once, but I don't know. So leave your comments below. We appreciate it. Like I said, we appreciate everybody using our Amazon links. Y'all rock. And don't forget, finally, check out my brother Donnie. If you don't know about that, my brother Donnie is literally... literally my brother...
Looking good. Do you copy?
Literally my brother here on YouTube. He has his own channel. And if you like watching us mess with these old pinball machines and arcade games, you'd probably like watching he and I work on old buildings. We bought a couple old buildings in a small town near here in their downtown area, and we're trying to help revitalize the town by fixing up those little buildings. So go check that out. And we will see you on the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. By the way, I give this one my stamp of approval. This is a cool game.